In my last video, I made it no secret that Mega Man Battle Network 6 is one of my favorite entries in the Battle Network series. While the main campaign is overall easy, if a player plans on tackling some of the more challenging content in the post-game to 100% it, they'll need some solid folders built around some strong battle chips. In this video, I plan on sharing what, in my opinion, are the best battle chips that you can put into your folder in Mega Man Battle Network 6, and how you can find them. While I encourage players to build their own folders and experiment to find their own strategies, I find the handful of these battle chips are so good they can be splashed into most folders and provide great value to enhance those strategies to carry them throughout the post-game. The only rule I'm limiting to myself on this list is there's going to be no Giga chips, as I find them all solid and they all have their own uses and situations to be used in. Again, this is just my opinion, and if you think I missed a really good battle chip, feel free to share them in the comment section below. One last disclaimer, if you have not finished the game and do not want to be spoiled by the potential areas you'll be exploring throughout the main adventure, maybe come back to this video later after you finish the main story. Without further ado, my name is Neptune and I present to you the best 15 battle chips in Mega Man Battle Network 6 in no particular order. Let's get started. Kicking off this list here, we have chip number 1, Invisible Asterisk. As you might have remembered from my beginner's tip video, this is one of the best support battle chips as it grants Mega Man iframes for a short period of time, allowing you not to worry about dodging or taking damage from majority of attacks. Thus, you can spend that time focusing on landing air attacks. With the chip's asterisk code, it's very easy to splash into your folder and make Mega Man survive so much longer against most boss fights. How do you get Invisible Asterisk? While there are multiple ways to obtain it, the earliest and most convenient way to get at it is from the Green Mystery Data in Seaside Area 2. Simply enter through the aquarium homepage and look for the Green Mystery Data from top to bottom in the Seaside Area 2. If you take advantage of the conveyor belts, you'll be able to avoid most virus encounters, as I believe it's tied to the number of steps that Mega Man has taken. While the drop rate is random, keep at it by entering and exiting the area, and you'll eventually get 3 copies for your folder. The second chip on our list is Anti-Damage Asterisk. Anti-Damage is a trap-based battle chip. While it doesn't do anything immediately when upon activation, once Mega Man takes a hit, the damage that would have been dealt is negated, and Mega Man responds by disappearing and throwing a shuriken that does 100 damage. The shuriken will also flinch a boss and reset their attack pattern, giving you a breather to observe and get ready to dodge again. Very solid defensive chip, and the asterisk code makes it really easy to add to any folder. How do you get Anti-Damage Asterisk? It's quite rare and only obtainable from the in-battle Green Mystery Data in the underground area. This requires some finesse, as you'll need to defeat the viruses in battle without doing any damage to the Green Mystery Data on the field. If you manage to win, you have roughly a 1 in 4 shot of getting the extremely useful Anti-Damage Asterisk. While this is overly tedious at first, there are some things we can do to make this much easier and less painful on ourselves. The first is rigging the encounter rate with the Navi programs such as Oil Body and Fish. Both of these programs rig the possible virus battles you'll be able to encounter and make it a little bit more likely you'll find a battle with a Green Mystery Data in it. You can get Oil Body from Blue Mystery Data in the Fan Comp in Sky Tower, and Fish can be obtained from a normal Navi in Sky Area 1 behind a Cyber Tree, which you can use a Link Navi to clear. If you do decide to install the Fish program, make sure to also equip some sword chips or have Slash Casts ready, as you need to deal with some nightmare viruses. The other thing we can do to rig the encounter rate is use a lock enemy subchip. These are rather pricey subchips you can get from a seller in Lamb's hometown, as they make the previous virus encounter more likely to show up. You can easily save money though by using the Legacy Collection's item cards, or you can use a lotto code on screen if you have not redeemed them already. Alright, with our prep all ready, all you have to do is head to the underground area and get a virus encounter with the in-battle Green Mystery Data, and just finish the battle. Do not worry if you accidentally destroy the Green Mystery Data, as there'll be more chances with our setup. Now that our last encounter is the battle with the Green Mystery Data, use your lock enemy and save. Now we can easily retry the encounter, and if we fail to get anti-damage from the in-battle Green Mystery Data, just reset and try again. There is a low chance that you'll not get the same encounter rate, and in that case I just still recommend resetting to maximize the time you have on your lock enemy. The save scumming tactic should reduce a lot of the headache. After you get your first copy of Anti-Damage Asterisk, make sure to save to keep the chip and repeat for additional copies. Keep at it until you get 3 copies, which is the most you can put into your folder at once in this game. Anti-Damage is also part of a powerful program advance known as Bodyguard, which we'll talk about later. The third and fourth entries on this list are going to be Area Grab Asterisk and Anti-Navi Asterisk. I sung praise of Area Grab in my beginner tips video, and Area Grab with the asterisk code is even more welcome and easy to splash into a folder. Having more room to move around with, along with the benefits associated with it, is always great to have. Meanwhile, Anti-Navi Asterisk is mainly a PvP trap battle chip, but it still has its uses in single player for forming the bodyguard program events. Trust me, we'll talk about that one soon, I promise. I grouped these two chips together in the same entry since they're both obtained from finishing the official request job on the Request BBS. You first need to download this quest via an event card by opening the patch cards menu on the Legacy Collection. Next, you'll have to complete some lower level jobs to increase your rank and get some substantial progress in the main story to be able to access this job. After accepting this job, head over to Skytown, head into the main operation room, and jack into the observation com. Once there, speak to the official Navi and defeat the battle image data of the previous bosses you've defeated throughout the main story. Upon completion, you'll be rewarded with the amazing Area Grab Asterisk and the Anti-Navi Asterisk. You also get an Anti-Recovery Asterisk, which is nice as well. A really worthwhile quest to complete, definitely to include some of these great staples. Coming in our fifth entry here is Anti-Sword Asterisk. Yet another trap-based battle chip that's mainly used for PvP, but can still be used in single player against enemies that use sword attacks like the Slashman. However, the main reason it's on this list is because it's the final part of the Bodyguard program advance. By selecting Anti-Navi, Anti-Sword, and Anti-Damage in that order, will form the Bodyguard advance, which sets up a trap upon usage. Similar to Anti-Damage, when an enemy hits Mega Man will appear and retaliate by throwing 10 shurikens back to back. Each of these shurikens will home in on them and do 100 damage each, leading to a total damage potential of 1000 damage if every hit lands. Considering how most bosses will flinch when being hit by a shuriken, it's rather easy to rack up the damage, especially when you stack attack modifier chips like Attack Plus or Full Synchro from landing a counter hit. Alright, we've talked about the program advance. Where do you get Anti-Sword Asterisk? Once you finish the majority of the story, consistently buying coffee from the Green Area 2 Net Cafe will net you the Anti-Sword Asterisk. If you're not getting it after 10 or so attempts, then come back later after making some story progress. The Bodyguard Advance is amazing and easy to fit in when all of its chips are coded Asterisk. Coming in at number 6 is Bubble Wrap Z and Q. Bubble Wrap might be awkwardly coded, but its defensive value is awesome. When used, a bubble is formed around Mega Man that will pop after taking a hit regardless of the damage. However, the bubble just keep on regenerating throughout the fight, which essentially allows Mega Man to have more leniency on dodging attacks and sponge hits using the bubble instead of losing him HP. Bubble Wrap is only soft countered by multi-hit attacks where they pop the bubble and deal damage to Mega Man, or hard countered by electric attacks which will not only pierce the bubble but deal double the damage to Mega Man and prevent the bubble from regenerating. If the enemy or boss you're fighting don't have any electrical attacks or multi-hit attacks, Bubble Wrap will make those fights so much easier. There are two ways you can obtain this chip. Bubble Wrap Q can be purchased from the Bug Frag Trader in Sky Area 1 for 24 bug frags. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it, as I find bug frags are rather annoying to get in the game, but this is the earliest point of access for the chip. The alternative is Bubble Wrap Z, which is found later on in the game in Pavilion Comp 4 and Green Mystery Data. Unless you have Sneak Run, you'll have to power through some encounters to get to some Green Mystery Data. Note that in this game, the Green Mystery Data reward is fixed as soon as you jack in, so there's no point in trying to save scum it. Might be tedious, but it's well worth it in the end. At number 7, we have Sanctuary Z. Sanctuary is an amazing field setting chip, changing your entire side of the battlefield into holy panels. Standing on these holy panels reduces the damage taken by 50%. This is a great defensive chip and allows Mega Man to strive much longer, since he's effectively taking twice as many hit points when inside the Sanctuary. It can be countered by enemies that alter your panels with their attacks like golems, but majority of the time it is amazing and persists through most boss fights. How do you obtain Sanctuary Z? Well, there's a difference depending on the release of the games that you're playing. If you're playing on the Legacy Collection or the Japanese version, you'll need to defeat the Count in the Immortal area. To get to the Immortal area, you first need to obtain a key, which is gotten through entering a hole behind this large tree in Green Area 2 and defeating Base at the end of it. Once you have the key, you can access the Immortal area through Underground 2. Proceed forward and eventually meet the Count and Django and start his quest. You'll need to do the quest by rescuing Otenko from Undernet 0. Afterwards, return to the Immortal area and defeat the Count to get access to the Blue Mystery Data that holds Sanctuary Z. In the English GBA versions of Battle Network 6, the quest I mentioned before was cut from the game. To obtain Sanctuary Z, all you need to do is buy it from a net merchant on Undernet 0 that's accessed through Undernet 2. There's a door blocking the way, but to unlock it, just put in the passcode 012. It's quite pricey at 15,200 Zenny, but extremely powerful when paired with the next chip on this list. Coming in at number 8 is Life Aura U. Life Aura is an amazing battle chip that surrounds Mega Man in an aura shield that will continuously block attacks from him unless an attack does 200 or more damage. It is extremely strong and can invalidate most bosses outright. The chip can also be stacked with holy panels, making the aura able to withstand attacks that do less than 400 damage, leaving very few bosses being able to break through. The only thing holding it back are wind-based attacks that will blow it straight off, and its awkward U-chip coating. How can you obtain Life Aura? Depends on the version once again. In the Legacy Collection, the easiest way to get it is using the item cards on the Mega Man screen to get it for free. For a more legitimate way to obtain it in the Legacy Collection or Japanese version, you'll need to access Undernet 3 and have an Unlocker subchip on hand. You can get to Undernet 3 from Undernet 2 by going through a door at the top level. This door is unlocked by getting a Machine Sword battle chip which is dropped from the Dark Mech viruses in the area. They're rather stingy at times, so make sure to get a good busting rank against them, or use the Collect Navi cust program from the Bug Frag Trader in the area. Once you access Undernet 3, just go across some invisible paths until you reach the purple mystery data and use the unlocker to obtain Life Aura U. If you're playing the English GBA version, the same net dealer in Undernet 0 I previously mentioned will sell Life Aura U for 22,400 Zenny, which will likely break your wallet, but it's well worth it for what is so-called the ultimate defense. Coming in at number 9 is Attack Plus 30 Asterisk. Attack Plus 30 is a really straightforward but amazing chip, especially when you pair it with multi-hit attacks like Super Vulcan, Train Arrow, or various other program advances like Bodyguard. It's a flat-out upgrade to the Attack Plus 10 chips you get at the start of the game, and its flexibility cannot be denied. Where can you get Attack Plus 30? It's just behind some purple mystery data in ACDC area. Just use an unlocker and you're all set. A lot easier than a lot of other entries on this list. Coming in at number 10 is the elusive Double Point Asterisk. Upon the activation, the 3 front panels of your area will be given up to apply a major attack boost for the next chip. For each panel lost, we'll add an additional 20 plus attack for the next chip, effectively leading to a staggering plus 60 attack. While there are some nuisances to using this chip that can lead to less than attack boosts, such as standing on your front panels or having holes on your side of the field, the attack boost is so huge and works well with many multi-hit attacks like Super Vulcan, program advances like Bodyguard, and even Giga chips like Base. It's often paired with Attack Plus 30 to make that attack boost really significant. The downside of losing your part of the field might look unappealing at first, but that doesn't really matter if your next chip deletes the enemy and finishes the battle. It's the high risk, high reward battle chip. Where can you find Double Point Asterisk? Easiest way is by using the item card in the Legacy Collection. If you want a more legitimate way of obtaining this chip in the Legacy Collection or on the Japanese version, you can get it in the Immortal area I mentioned before from in-battle green mystery data, like anti-damage. You can increase the odds of finding a layout with the green mystery data by using the Battery Navi Customizer program, which is found in the Vending Machine comp, a comp that is easily accessed by Chargeman in Gregar version or Dustman in Falzar version. You can also use the same lock enemy strategy as I mentioned with anti-damage Asterisk, but note that you can only add 1 double point chip to the folder, so maybe just get 1 copy and some Zenny and Bug Frags until the lock enemy expires. If you're playing the English GBA version, you can find Double Points Asterisk in Sky Area 2 behind a fire that is cleared easily by a Link Navi such as Aquaman in Falzar version or Heatman in Gregar version. At number 11 we have the infamous Super Vulcan V. I mentioned this chip in prior entries, I finally get to bring it up here. We've talked a lot about defensive and sword battle chips on this list, but Super Vulcan is going to be the exception here, as it's one of the best offensive chips in the entire game. This Vulcan has 10 shots that each do 20 damage that leads to a base total damage of 200. There are numerous ways to power this Vulcan up, including Beast Out. Remember, when in Beast Out, all elementless chips like your Super Vulcan have an additional plus 30 attack, making each shot do 50 damage, turning our damage potential to 500. For just being in that form. Let's take it a step further. Let's add Double Point Asterisk at the start so we can get an additional plus 60 attack to each shot, and it's going to be stacked further along with a plus 30 attack battle chip. We can stack this with Beast Out, and that makes each Vulcan shot deal 140 damage each. The damage potential is already getting out of hand, but say we land a counter and enter full synchro, each shot from the Vulcan will be doubled in power, and the results need to be seen to be believed. that power showcase over, how can we obtain the Super Vulcan? The easiest method is by redeeming an item card using the Legacy Collection special features, but a more legitimate way within the collection is just by taking an unlocker to Underground 2 and using it on some purple mystery data. The last method is a lot more time consuming and involves tackling and completing all the Virus Battler challenges. Super Vulcan V is your final reward for the Virus Battler challenge in the English versions of the Legacy Collection and GBA. Notice how I said the English version of the Legacy Collection, because if you switch to the Japanese language on the Legacy Collection and complete the last Virus Battler challenge, you'll instead be rewarded with Django 3, which is far more difficult to obtain. Django 3 is necessary for 100% completion and proceed with the post-game activities, and this is a development oversight. Please obtain Super Vulcan with an alternative methods and use the Virus Battler to obtain Django 3 on the Legacy Collection. I'll link a GameFAQs guide down below if you're interested in this Virus Battler challenges. At number 12, I have my most controversial pick on this list, which is Reflector 3 Asterisk. Reflector is a situationally useful battle chip, but I cannot deny how helpful it is in specific boss fights, and the Asterisk coating along with its 200 damage makes it more than welcome and splashable into a folder. A lot of bosses in this game have attacks that are easily countered by Reflector. Take Blastman for instance. Even in his hardest form, standing behind this cube and timing reflectors easily gives me full synchro for my next attack to utterly devastate him. Same applies for more tricky boss fights like Proto Man, who's extremely allergic to these battle chips. The downside is it won't give full synchro in all boss fights, and you cannot reflect any attack when using Invisible. Now, how do you get Reflector 3 Asterisk? This is going to be a long process, so strap in folks. Around the time you obtained your second cross form for Mega Man, you can go to Cyber Academy and jack into the blackboard in Class 1-2. There, you'll find someone that'll sell you the Virus Battle card for 2,000 Zenny. While this starts the Virus Battle or Challenge quest line, it will enable rare variants of viruses to show up in certain areas. While the traditional rewards for defeating rare viruses are being added to your Virus Battle card to be used in those challenges, they also have some pretty rare drops when getting good busting ranks against them. Before we get into virus hunting, I highly recommend picking up a lock enemy, an air hockey chip, and the collector's Navi cust. The lock enemy is extremely important as we'll be taking advantage of save scumming, and these rare viruses have abysmally low encounter rates otherwise. The air hockey chip can be purchased from Asterland's normal stock for 3,800 Zenny, and setting it as a regular chip will allow us to easily get S ranks against these rare Metar viruses. The last but most important part of this is the Collector Navi Cust program. This is obtained from the Bug Frag Trader in Undernet 2 for a staggering 62 bug frags. I know it's pricey, but it's going to be instrumental and save us a lot of our sanity, as it'll guarantee chips being dropped from the rare virus and save you a lot of headache if you decide to complete the standard library. Alright, we have everything ready to hunt for our rare virus, so let's begin. The virus we are looking for is a rare Metar 2, and they're lurking within Central Area 1, right outside of Land's homepage. Keep fighting and deleting Metars, as the rare Metar 2 will only appear after you delete 32 Metar species of the virus. You'll likely have already achieved this, but it does not hurt, as you can get some extra Reflector 1 battle chips to put into the chip trader afterwards. Once you've deleted enough of them, you have roughly a 4.17% chance of finding a rare Metar 2. Which has 180 HP and a shiny light blue color scheme to boot. Wait for the front Metar to move into the center row and fire off your air hockey. The air hockey has break attribute and will pierce the guard of the rare Metar. If you did it right, you'll get a double delete with an S rank, which gives you the best chances of getting the Reflector 3 Asterisk. Don't worry if you don't get it your first time, as we'll be able to counter it again using the lock enemy and saving our game. We're going to be save scumming and be repeating this air hockey method until we earn our Reflector 3 Asterisk. I'd even reset when you do not get the rare Metar 2 encounter, as it's wasting your lock enemy time, especially if you want multiple copies. How many copies should you get? Well, Reflector 3 can be up to 4 copies in your folder. I think it's best to have 2 or 3, which would be plenty for splash potential into a folder. Keep going and don't give up, and eventually you'll get the elusive code for the pretty helpful chip. If you're curious about how much time it took me roughly 15 minutes. You got this. At number 13, we have Full Custom Asterisk. Full Custom is an amazing chip as it fills up your custom gauge upon use and allows Mega Man to access the chip selection screen really easily. Not only can this help mill your folder if you're looking for a particular battle chip to farm program advances, it allows Mega Man to keep up his momentum. Say I just used a bunch of support battle chips like Area Grab and Invisible. Those helpful effects won't last forever, so we'll use Full Custom after them to keep those effects intact while we start getting our attacking chips together. Also, if you manage to find all the reg up upgrades in the game, you max out at 50 megabytes, which is just enough to make Full Custom your regular chip, which is commonly set in PvP environments as well as quick boss deletion strategies. Where do you find this chip? You'll find this chip sitting outside of Astrland's normal stock for a measly 7,800 zenny right around the time you defeat Element Man in Skytown. You can also use an item card included with the Legacy Collection to get this for free and earlier. You can only fit one of these into your folder, unlike Battle Network 2, but even still, one of the best chips in the entire game, and do I dare say, the entire series. At number 14, we have Full Custom's cousin here, Fast Gauge Asterisk. Fast Gauge is an amazing battle chip that cuts the time it takes for the custom gauge to fill to be twice as fast. In other words, it cuts the normal time of the custom gauge filling from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. While that might not seem like a lot, it can drastically speed up Mega Man's fighting capabilities and allow him to get access to chip options he wants much faster. Like I mentioned before, with Full Custom, it enables Mega Man to keep up his momentum by keeping his defensive perks like Invisible, while using offensive chips as well. In fact, it's a bread and butter chip combo to run this alongside Full Custom. How can you obtain Fast Gauge Asterisk? You'll have to complete a request BBS job called Find the Virus, which you'll need to have completed some lower level jobs to increase your rank and make some substantial story progress before you can accept this job. You also need to download this quest via the event card by opening the patch cards menu on the Legacy Collection. Once accepted, talk to Mr. Famous right outside the love bus station in Central Town. He'll inform you need to delete 5 viruses hiding in computers throughout Central Town and Seaside Town. The locations you need to jack into to find these viruses are the following: the Robo-Dog Comp near Asterland, the Monitor Comp near the main entrance of Cyber Academy, the Teacher Room Comp inside the Teacher's Room of Cyber Academy, in Seaside Town, the Water Machine Comp near the fountain as you enter Seaside Town, the Popcorn Shop Comp in the Auditorium of the Aquarium. Return back to Mr. Famous and receive your amazing Fast Gauge Asterisk. If you're struggling at all with these jobs on the Request BBS to get to this quest, I'll link a GameFAQs guide down below. Finally, we're at chip number 15, which is held by 2 mega chips that belong to 2 Navis, Judgeman Asterisk and Eraseman Asterisk. Let's start off with Judgeman. Judgeman Asterisk is a great staple mega chip for the folder as it does the following. It does 100 damage with the range of 3 panels in front of Mega Man. It pierces iframes, meaning if you use another battle chip that made a boss invulnerable to damage, like a cannon or most Giga chips, it'll still connect. It paralyzes the enemy, meaning you can follow up with another battle chip, which is extremely easy given its coded asterisk. It also has the amazing use of PvP, of having a similar effect to Grab Banish. How do you get Judgeman Asterisk? We'll again have to go back to the Request BBS and help Mr. Famous again in a quest known as an Experiment. Once again, you'll need to download this quest via the event card by opening the patch cards menu on the Legacy Collection. Once accepted, just go to the aquarium near the shark tank and he'll challenge you through a set of 20 different virus battles back to back. I recommend equipping Invisible as your regular chip and having your Buster's attack and charge shots maxed out. Use Invisible at the start along with your preferred cross charge shots with some decent battle chips and you'll get through these relatively quickly. In the end, you'll be rewarded with Judgeman Asterisk alongside Circus Man Asterisk and Element Man Asterisk. Now moving on to Eraseman. Eraseman's summon is a lot like Judgeman's with a little bit of extra timing involved as he'll aim his attack along the cursor. Line up the cursor and hit A at the right time for a beam that has the following properties: 120 damage, pierces iframes, paralyzes the enemies, can destroy traps set in PvP. This is almost identical to Judgeman, so it makes sense why I put these two together on the same spot to close out this list. To get this one, it's really easy as you just need to enter the following Lotto's code on screen into the number trader in Asterland. Afterwards, Eraseman will be there to erase your enemies and help accelerate your own strategies by helping you combo your own battle chips, especially since it's coded Asher code. If you made it through this entire video and enjoy what you saw, please leave a like as a lot of effort was put into this video. And if you want to see more Battle Network tip videos, consider subscribing and let me know what you want to see from me in the future in the comments section below. This one took a little bit more time because I wanted to make sure the quality of the video was up to stuff. If you want to tune in for some of my Battle Network live streams on Twitch, you can check the description for links to follow me over there as well as my Twitter. I'm trying to consistently have a better stream time in the evenings of Eastern Standard Time, so feel free to hang out there and we can share library, mixed records, and maybe play some PvP for Mega Man Battle Network 6. Feel free to share this video with others who are looking to try out Mega Man Battle Network 6, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!